follow traders from all around the world, also from social media, and of course also from XM Live. And we have a very special session today. And Staff, I mean, I'm really, really excited for this session, because you remember, we experts, we always say that trading is the perfect profession because it gives you total freedom. The only thing you need is internet and the computer, and that's it.
Absolutely.
But here is the sad thing, right? Nobody really does it. Nobody's really free. Still, everybody has a lot of attachments at home, and has his house, and has and nobody's really free, even though we could be.
Today, we're really lucky to actually have that real life example here with us for Trader Talks. And in that case, I'll leave it to you to introduce our very special guest for today's episode.
Yes, we have Wieland with us, and Wieland is a dear friend of mine. And we met many, many times, also in Germany, but also at my place. Wieland decided a couple of years ago, and Wieland, in a very short time, I'll let you introduce yourself, but a couple of years ago, you decided to really make a reality. You're a trader, and I think you sold everything and you decided to travel the world.
True.
Right?
It's absolutely true, Gil, and I'm so happy to be with you, to talk with you today a bit about life and trading and markets, whatever comes to mind. And I love what you said, like recreated your reality. And it's absolutely what it is. I mean, there's so much power. We could talk for days just about this, right? How to create your own reality. And it's true. As a trader, you're totally free. I like to call it like 3D or 4D freedom, financially, timely, like from where you are, and of course, personal free. So you have 4 parts of freedom. As a trader, you can do whatever you want if you play your cards well, right?
Of course, you need to have a trading strategy where you make money. Otherwise, or you have to have also other sources of income. Yeah, but I think this is so amazing. Stuff. I think we just. I mean, there is so many questions in my head, and I'm sure also in your head. We should start to use this hour really to understand what Wieland is doing.
I feel exactly the same way. And in that case, one of the first questions that definitely come to mind is, how did you make the switch and decide that the power is in your hands to create this 3D/4D reality? I do want to ask, how did you come to the decision to switch to this lifestyle?
Yeah, well, it's a process. I mean, you just don't go, you know. There are a lot of things which came into place at a very special moment. One very, very important situation was a personal one regarding my own life, my own private and personal life. Obviously, I mean, that's not really a secret. I'm traveling single, so you can imagine what happened. So that's number one. Number two, I made the decision to leave Germany right with the beginning of the pandemic, or honestly speaking, like a couple of months before. Like I was on the Philippines visiting a friend and meeting some others for New Year's Eve 2019 to 2020, and I met there a group of let's just say digital nomads. They called themselves perpetual travelers.
Okay.
And I felt like, wow, this is such a great fit for my life, because when everything changes for yourself, feels like, oh, what to do now, So that's number one. And then I made the decision, okay, maybe that's something for me. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to check out how this works. And it was beginning of 2020. We all know what happened in March. We had the first lockdown. I felt like, wow, I made this decision at the right moment. But honestly speaking, the decision was, yeah, I'm going to move over to Asia, let's say to the Philippines. But that wasn't possible because everything was on lockdown. So I couldn't go there. So I felt like, okay, if I cannot go to one place, why not go to all the places? Who has the right to tell me I have to stay at one place? I can go everywhere. And then I went I went with the beginning of 2021. I started going first to Canarian Islands because this was in Europe, wide open. And then I went over to Mexico and South America. So there I discovered my love for South America by accident. Basically, I just wanted to go to Asia. So this is what happened.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And there's definitely, as you mentioned, a process that goes, that happens inside of you. You just said that you had to leave certain things behind in order to take this leap of faith. And in that case, I do want to kind of backtrack a little bit. How did you first hear about trading and the ability to, in that case, attain this sense of freedom through it?
Right. Oh yeah, that was back like 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago almost. And back then I used to be a sales manager in fashion business, which is amazing. I love the job because, you always work with people, but there are some times you're just waiting for your clients to arrive at the showroom, to do the orders. And I was browsing the web. That's what you do if you're bored, right?
Yeah.
So I all of a sudden I came across a website, a financial website, and it listed the winners and the losers of the day. And the listing was like 300% plus, 500% plus, something like this, And if you're in sales, you don't need any more information. That's all you need. So, what I didn't know, the products which were listed, of course, these were not stocks. These were rolling turbos, rolling knockout turbos, which just go with a level of 50 every day. So you can imagine, I tried it and I lost quite immediately not all my money, but the money I just put into it.
Very, very interesting to see that you were able to go from sales, but kind of find the connection from that to trading. I also do have this background working in the fashion industry and particularly in sales, as well as visual merchandising. And it's interesting how all of these industries definitely share this common thread.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you're in sales for a reason. Number one is you like kind of working with people. I mean, as a trader, that's not really the case. You have to find different means to work with people, right? But you're working for money and you feel like the better I am, the more it comes. And that's fair and that's true. So as a trader, it's more the same, so the more you focus on, the more you behave in line with the market, the more money you can make. So, and of course, with all, all the management tools you need. So that's one idea. And what I realized later on was, as coming from sales, as a sales guy, you have one very, very important prerequisite already in place. And that is dealing with a big no. If you go in sales, you go to the client, if you say, nah, I don't want this stuff. Don't, just go, have a coffee, but go. And the market tells you the same. So you open a trade, and the market says, you know what, just go. But I keep your money, right? And you have to learn to deal with this, the rejections, right? So with all the rejections in mind, as a salesperson, yourself, you call people, hey, how about, you want to see? No, all the no's. And as a trader, it's the same. You had all the no's, but you have to move on. You have to continue because it's a job. And being able to have that mindset and being able to repeat what you're doing all over again because you're convinced and it's also proven that it works, what you're doing, this is a common piece which combines everything, in my mind.
I could jump in. I was also in sales, but not originally. I came to sales by mistake. I studied actually architecture, and that was in my whole career. It was always about honor, oh, wow, you're architect. And it's like, but I felt always underpaid and bored. And short story, after that, I went into real estate and real estate investment, and I failed. And And in 2009, I failed, and the company broke. And I said, I don't want to go into depression and sit at home and think that I'm a failure. So I take the first job I get, and I got a sales job. And I learned a lot also about it. And it's the first time where I felt, okay, I have to leave honor behind me, but at least I get paid as I should. You know.
See? Exactly.
Yeah. And then from there on, I got to trading, which is also if you put also honor and pride and everything behind you, you can make also money. That is really nice.
Definitely.
It's true. I mean, there are so many things you can combine there. If you treat your client and your customer like out of your mind, you get the same result like you're out of your mind in the markets. Like customer will kick you and put you in front of the door, and the market will do the same. So it's all a matter about professional behavior, and that's also something people have to learn outside and also inside in trading.
Wieland, I would like to go back to your travel. So you said you decided during Corona, and sorry that we are jumping around here, but during Corona, so you decided you go to travel and you went to South America. How long does it take? I mean, this is a big decision. Probably you had to sell things. And also, how do you travel? I mean, tell me, in how many countries did you visit since then?
Let's start with the number of countries. I haven't counted right now. I mean, I'm missing like 19 countries in total South America, the whole continent of Americas. So I was almost around Southeast Asia, just missing Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, but I don't go there obviously for a reason. So I'm almost done. I'm missing China, but I go there in October for the IFTA conference. So I'm almost done with a lot of things of Southeast Asia. But I'm missing like every country in Africa. Not sure if I will go there anyway, but so let's say around 50, something like that, including the countries in Europe I traveled when I was a child with my parents. So to be fair.
Quite a lump sum. I do want to ask in that case, how do you decide on where your next trip is? How do you decide on your next travel? What does that necessarily depend on?
I have kind of an idea. I mean, in general, what I don't do is like crossing the ocean back and forth. So that's not what I do. I have Germany as some kind of connection point because I want to see and meet my parents, of course, my family, my friends, every year. So I return there for like a couple of weeks, and then I just go to the other side of the world. So coming to South America, it's first, where can I get a good flight to which city does it lead? And from the season, it's also very important because, if you start, let's say in Mexico, it will kill you in May because it's so freaking hot over there in May. But if you arrive in May in Argentina, you might freeze because it's winter. So you have to be aware where you go first. And that's number one. And then I like to go always with just short flights, 1 hour, 2 hours, something like this. So I just go from neighbor to neighbor. And also right now, it appears, as I do this for 3.5 years already, it's more that I know countries very well, and I have been to countries where I feel like one time is enough, and I don't return, and I don't feel like I should return. But I'm very, very happy to go to Peru, for example. For me right now, this is number one, the number one country in the world for me to be, because you have all the exciting adventures over there. Lima is a great city. I love Argentina. Colombia, obviously, for a reason. I'm in Medellin right now, the 6th time. It's great, but I'm missing the sea here. So this is something I'm trying to put into place. City, sea, mountains, adventures, and also have to work. So it's not just coming here for a day or two. I'm staying for months or 6 weeks, something like this.
We continue the conversation with Wieland, a trader, not only a trader. He will tell us much more. He is also president of technical analysts, organization, and again, he's traveling the world and trading and coaching and writing books about trading. It's unbelievable. And we were finished, or we were, yes, here.
There it is.
We were talking about his travels and how Wieland decides where to go. You're in South America now, in Colombia. You said you didn't visit yet Africa. By the way, many viewers who are watching us today, they are from Africa. So maybe, they'll get some connections made, and who knows?
I'm always open for suggestions. And of course, I mean, everybody, let's say in Europe, everybody knows about South Africa, Cape Town. I mean, that's basic requirement. But the other countries are not so well known. I know about this going to safari, so I'm very open for suggestions. So if people feel like, hey, definitely have to go to this place or that place, I'm open. Because I just need to hop on a plane and I'm there. No worries.
Well, I can guarantee that if you ever decide to, it's definitely a good idea. I'm from South Africa. I grew up in Cape Town.
Nice.
And in that case, I'm happy to mention that I'm happy that you mentioned that it is a requirement, but there is definitely a lot more to see.
Yeah.
At this point, since you did tackle kind of your strategy as to travels, and in that case, all of the measures that you certainly put in place to decide on your next travel, I do want to ask if there's a country in particular that has surprised you or has taught you a lesson about trading, about life, or even both?
Yeah, both. I mean, let's start with trading because it's mostly interesting. I'm coming from Germany. Trading in Germany is a little bit more conservative. Like, people are not like taking like risks, high speed, something like this. A lot of people feel like trading for them a little bit more wealth, retirement, something like this. Coming to Asia, everything changed. Because in Asia, especially, I met a lot of traders in Indonesia. I met a lot of traders also in Arabian countries. I've been in Jordan for a seminar with like over 1,000 people a night. Amazing. And these people, they go more for, okay, trading really is a job for me. And it's one idea of become free. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing to think about because, coming from Europe, we have this job structure. We have all you apply, you sit in the office, all that stuff. And the more developing countries, they have this, of course, too, but not for everybody. So they need to find solutions, and that's what I feel. So when I do some presentations over there, people are really listening. They want to know everything, how I do it, how they can be successful within a little bit shorter time frame as well, and really make money for a living. And that's what I really like, because it shows me that the trading is not just for creating wealth and save money for retirement. It's really a job, and that's how I understand it too. And that's number one. Number two, I learned a lot about life in South America. I realized just like a couple of days ago that everybody can tell you about South America, but you have to experience it to really understand what it's about. And honestly speaking, I cannot put this into words. It's just everything comes together, and it feels like, and now got it. So something like this.
It's a feeling in that case.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's a feeling, because it's so different compared to Europe, but it's not. But I cannot explain why. That's really cool. It feels different. You have to experience it. But if you do, and you understand, okay, now I got it. Now I know how to be here. Put it this way.
What is it the lifestyle, how people see life, or how?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, being German, you cannot be more conservative about life. So and work and all the work ethics and
Structure.
Yeah, structure, being on time. I'm still on time, but I caught myself, and maybe I can answer this email tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know? And it's honestly speaking, it feels good because nobody really needs your answer right now. Nobody. It's okay later on or tomorrow, you know. So this is some part. And also I like, and that's something I experience worldwide, how people, they love life, you know. They enjoy life, they go outside, they are connected, everybody like talks to each other, everybody is, you know, you sit somewhere in a room or in a bus and everybody's talking. And I'm not really used to this.
Yes.
So,
I think that can somewhat resonate with this, just coming from even South Africa to Europe. I think that was one of the first things that I felt and encountered, the sense of liveliness. And in that case, as you just mentioned, being in a bus and everybody's talking. In the case of South Africa, people are humming, people are singing, people are rhythmic.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely. I think that also plays a role in terms of like flexibility and not being so rigid, as opposed to Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's, you know, there are so many prejudices here about the countries, about Latin America. And, but, you know, it's enjoying life, you hear the music, and vamos a fiesta. Let's have it. Let's dance first. Of course, that's fun. It's nice to a certain extent, obviously, and it's very healthy for, you know, if you come from Germany or Europe, you know, from more structured places, not just to hop on your job, to hop on your meeting. You can do it later too, but let's enjoy life first, because you never know what comes. And going back to 2020 with this experience of the lockdown and, you know, the pandemic, it's true. You don't know what comes next. You just don't know. So just go for it now. And that was a lesson I took for myself, and that's why I enjoyed a lot here. But of course, still I'm, you know, I'm the person I am, and still I'm very, very structured. Still I'm very reliable with everything. But anyway, I have like these, I just got some ideas of a more easygoing life as well. And I really love it.
I have a question. If I remember right, you are a Forex trader too, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to all those countries, you see all those currencies. Are there currencies? Do you learn something about currency trading? Or are there currencies that you say, you know what, I never can go this currency long or short anymore?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are a lot of currencies to go short, starting with the Argentinian peso, right? It will never recover. But the question is, can you really trade it? Or, you know, is this really something you can hop on? And you just imagine you would go for the Venezuelan Bolivar, you would go short. But it's not just like the devaluation of the currency, it's more about the inflation itself. So, you know, you have two things in place. And honestly speaking, that kind of inflation, I don't know if you really feel like this might be a short-term trade. I mean, in trading, you always have to consider, what do you want to reach?
Mm-hmm.
And talking about Forex, you go with a Forex pair, you aim for 20 pips. You have your lever, you have everything, all your management in place, and okay, I go 20 pips, and I have my mini or my micro or my lot size, and get like $200,000 as a profit after a couple of minutes or hours or whatever. And if you go more long term, you can use that lever anymore, and you need to use time and time and time to follow that move. And therefore, honestly speaking, I never understood why I should do this when I go short term with a higher lever, and, you know, going for the 20 pips and something like this for that one move. But that's, you know, that's me.
Yeah. Do you know, I mean, in many countries, when a currency fails, so you saw probably countries with very strong currencies and countries with weak currencies and countries with failing currencies. Normally you have And I know I have a good friend in Argentina, so he tells me a lot about that. You have like two prices. You have the official price, and then you have the price that is actually dealt with. And then, and does this teach you about how money works, or how do you experience that?
Oh man, you're opening a big box now. I mean, with especially talking about Argentina, it's an experience. It's ridiculous, and it's so bad, you know, because it changed this year in 2024 with Milei in place. But before, like last year, I went to Argentina. You always had to make care that you had enough dollars with you, like a couple of thousand, whatever you need for the time being. And what you do there, exactly, there are two currency exchange rates. One rate is the official, let's say $1, 400 pesos, Argentinian pesos. If you go to a bank, that's what you get. But if you go on the streets or to Western Union or other, you know, there are other locals or other places where you can exchange your money, you get double, $1, 800 peso. So this means if you pay cash, you get an instant discount of 50%. And now there are two things to consider. Number one, you're coming from abroad, being foreigner, having dollars. You feel like you're the king, of course, right? Because you get instant discount 50%. To make it even worse, you go to a restaurant, and then you get, if you pay cash, not credit card but cash, you get a discount of 25% on your bill as well. So literally, you go out for nothing. You know, it's ridiculous. For me, and that's a big point. For the locals, it's a disaster. So we never can forget about it. We should never forget about what we're talking about, you know. So if you go to a country with a high inflation rate, of course, as a foreigner with dollars or euro, wow, great experience. But on the other hand, there's a local society, there's local people, they suffer a lot. They cannot afford that steaks, they cannot afford that wine, they cannot afford that t-shirt, or whatever you will feel like, oh, I gotta grab this as well. Bottle of wine, $8 at a good restaurant, not a problem, give me two, you know, or steaks, you know, or whatever. And if you go with locals, I cannot do this. I cannot go in a restaurant twice a day for lunch and for dinner. It's not possible.
Definitely.
And you feel like, yeah, but I do this every day. You know? And this is something where we have to be very, very careful also in our mindset. And if you go on, you know, the Instagrams, all the Facebooks and YouTubes, you feel all the digital nomads. I just want to, you know, I don't want to go like finger pointing. But if you see this, yeah, I'm doing such a great life. Yeah. But now look behind you and look to the side. What happens next to you? It's your great life, but it's a fake.
Wieland has just gone into the lessons in which he's learned, particularly about money and what money may mean to that digital nomad living that ideal life, but what money may mean to the locals. And in that case, I do want to bring in an example. Currently, where I'm located in Greece, for instance, it's summer. What everybody is talking about are the islands here in Greece, and that's ultimately the ideal during the summer. But unfortunately, it kind of has gotten to a point now where the locals themselves can't enjoy their own islands, and only the foreigners can. So I think this is a similar instance to your point there.
Yeah. It's, you know, I'm very critical about it. And once again, it's not to blame anybody. And it's not about, you know, oh, I'm so cool. No, you're lucky. You're just lucky. That's what it is. And of course, you're cool, but more you're lucky, right? And, you know, right now I'm in Medellin, and I'm in this neighborhood. It's called El Poblado. And El Poblado, it's wonderful. You have all the bars, all the restaurants. You have all the, you know, if you see a picture of Medellin, you see this, all the big buildings, all these edificios, 20 stories high with a great view. Guess who's living here?
Foreigners, probably.
Foreigners. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly foreigners, Americans, Europeans. Of course, there are some Colombians, but not really local people. Local people, they live at the other side of the city, and it is what it is. But we always have to be aware of this. Like you said, the islands are not for the locals anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and we're coming to a point where we feel like, is this really the right thing? You know?
Yes, and this I suppose would then start to make simple people like me and my neighbors look into lifestyles as such and ways in which of making an income like the one you are. I think that's where the world is moving, and to your point in which you made earlier as well, coming from Europe, you get so used to the atypical way in which you're supposed to make money and a livelihood, and the sorts of responsibilities that you're supposed to have and life that you're supposed to live. But there's definitely an alternative, and here it is.
Yeah. I mean, now we can make the next step, because asking the question, why are people like looking at trading in different ways? In all these, like in South America, there's quite a big trading scene in retail, not so much in let's say professional, institutional, like for the IFTA, interesting, and also Asia. Why? Because this is something where they can catch up very easily. They just have to work on it. You can make a small account big over time, but you need to put the right strategy behind it. And now, people also can have access to, to capital which is not their own, by other means. And this is also something which frees people and puts them in another position. And I really love this idea. For me, trading, coming up with Forex and CFDs for some kind of becoming more like a democracy for traders.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I know that you are, again, I said you're the president of the International Federation of Technical Analysts. I'm also wondering, how can you have a job like that and still traveling the world? And do you have in your suitcase, your suit, like really, and then you have your obligations, and then how big is your suitcase, by the way?
Oh, it's not a suitcase. I have two backpacks. One is 25 liter, which gives me all the stuff which I need for working. My computer, I have a second screen. I have like a microphone, all the stuff. Like it's 25 liter, and it's about 14 kilo. And then I have a backpack which is 45 liters with all my clothes, including sometimes my suit, sometimes just have it in hand, like, in a suit bag. And it's about 12 kilo. That's it. So both is carry on. And sometimes I get stopped. Nah, you cannot go with this. But most of the time I just go with all this into the plane and carry on, hop in, hop off. So, but yeah, it's a perfect fit, honestly speaking, for me, because, wherever I go, and there's a local society, which is 24 right now, I have friends. And this distinguishes me from being a tourist, because I meet with locals, I go to places where locals go, I have people taking care of me, show me the right places, I belong. And you can imagine it's very important, because if you leave your country, but you don't go somewhere, where do you belong to?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as human beings, we are social beings. I'm a social person. I need to be connected. And being president of IFTA gives me the opportunity, and I'm very happy and very lucky with this, that people welcome me wherever I go. I have my speeches, presentations over there. I am in meetings. I have nice dinners with a group. And that's what really is, it enlightens me. I really love it. And I'm very, very, very grateful for this opportunity, because where is it?
Yeah, it's really amazing. But I mean, you created it, because on one side, maybe you're lucky, but on the other side also, you took decisions, you took steps to get where you are today, right? Because we all could. I mean, we all could do it, and but most don't do it. So you still have to do the first step, towards your goals.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we always have to have some kind of idea about our lives. But if you're too strict, you block everything around you, because I want to go here.
Yeah, no.
And if you're open-minded, yeah, okay, I wanna be a traveler. And then, for me, it was like kind of a wonder. I made the decision to leave the country. 3 months later, I was member of the IFTA, organizing the very first online conference. A couple of months later, I was president. And this is nothing where you can say, I have a plan to follow. That's not happening. It just happens because you're ready for it, you're open-minded, and of course, you're able to do this. I mean, seriously, that's also what you have to bring into it, But if you're open to it, people see and feel it. And once again, being a trader, being connected to all the traders worldwide. Gil, last year I was visiting you. Yeah. But of course, I needed to be active. Say, Gil, I'm just coming up, so let's meet. And you were showing me around. And seriously, we all can do this. If we're connected to each other as traders, we can do it. Yeah. But we have to make the first step. Like, hey, I'm coming over. What's going on? Let's meet. Sometimes I feel like I need to knock on the door a little bit harder. But hey, I'm from sales. What do you expect?
I go back to what you said before, that you said like people through trading have the chance really to change their way. They can make trading for a living. You're a trading coach. So you teach people, and I know here at XM Life we have a lot of beginner traders. We have also advanced traders. So if a person comes to you, they say, I want to learn trading. How do you start with a person, and what kind of problems you're normally meeting with those new traders?
First problem not always hear about, but which comes quite often into place is, I want to get rich quick. Stuff like this. I had a call with a young guy. Young means like half my age, which is young. But anyway, I have a $10,000. Okay, fair enough. And my plan is, after a couple of months, I want to have $10,000 profit a month. And then after a couple of months, I want to have $50,000 profit a month. And if you're like doing the math and all the calculation, it's not working. But it obviously didn't want to hear it. And that's something which is very, very important and also very difficult to put people, like, reset the mindset a bit about what really is possible. I mean, everything is possible. Everything happens once in a while for somebody, but not for everybody. And we need to always consider this, that what is reasonable. And it's not reasonable to go with a $10,000 account every year, like about a couple of 100%. It might happen once in a while, but not for everybody. But what's reasonable? Like 50% a year. That's reasonable. With short-term trading, you can do this. But then you have like 5,000 out of 10. So this means you need to bring time and a little bit more money into it, and have some kind of a side hustle, side job, whatever it is. But if you're young, okay, fair enough. So that's one part where I feel like, okay, people need to rethink a bit. It's more about everything about the mindset. So, like having all the discipline, having also this what you need to go again and again and again into the market after you had a loss, not to freak out after you have like a series of losses, all this stuff. That's most important for people to learn, and it takes the longest time.
So as a coach, I mean, for me, I never did coaching, and it's so I never really understood the concept, because I don't know, is coach like a tennis coach? Do you teach principles, or do you teach So it's mostly about principles, or it's teaching a trading strategy, and you say, you take my program, and you will at the end you will be a successful trader.
No, no, because it's not possible. I mean, pretty clearly, the turtles with Richard Dennis, they had proven that it's not working. It's not working given people one strategy and expect the same results from everybody. It's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because as human beings, we are individuals and we behave individual. Even though we might be in line in general, if you go to the small things, we're not in line, and it's good like this because we are not robots.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about a strategy, I have some strategies in place. They are well known. Everybody can look for them on the web or on my website as well. So they're easy to apply. But I kept them open. I left them open when it comes to management. They're very clear when it comes to the signal, but they're very open when it comes to management. And that's, I think, the only way to go, because some people like to take their profits a little bit more earlier. Some like to, let the profits run a bit. And that's the personal situation. That's number one. Number two, so when you start going to coaching with me, first of all, you will go through a video course, because I don't want to explain a trend line all over again. And you don't need me to do this live. You can do this whenever you like on a video course. But when it comes to applying it into the daily business, into practice, that's why I come into place to discuss with you what to do, when to do, what to change in your own behavior, what to change in practice, what to look for in detail. That's where I come into place, and that's why I'm happy to help, of course. And that's where the coaching starts, to discuss experiences in the field, to discuss what's a trading plan anyway, what is your journal, what are your experiences, how you feel, what is your mindset behind it. And that's where the work starts. It's not about the theory. You can read a book, you can go to YouTube, that's all fine. But to get things done with yourself, there you need help.
Mm-hmm. So more kind of a psychologist, I would say, almost, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a certified coach. I used to work 10 years as a management and leadership trainer, so I'm well experienced in coaching and training people, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, coming from sales, so you see, there's just by accident, there's a line I'm following, but it wasn't planned. And coming from sales, working with people, I love it. And I'm good with people. I'm good on stage. I'm good with teaching. I'm good with writing. Oh man, I have to stop here. I love it. All I can say, I really love what I do, and I'm very, very happy and very grateful about these opportunities I have.
But you know what I want to say is, I think trading, because as a in trading, I always say you have to be like a pocketbook psychologist for being a trader, or a pocketbook scientist. Like, you have to know many things, but you don't have to have a PhD in science.
No.
Yeah, you have to know a lot of small things. So, and this is why you say everything that you did before connected. You put the dots together, and it bring you to the right place as a trader and coach and whatever you do today.
Exactly.
I feel the same. Like, I studied history, and I felt like I love history, but I knew from the first moment that I will never use it in my life. I mean, who needs history? It's totally useless. So I studied history and political science, and I said, political science, maybe I go into politics, and but at the end, in trading, the only thing that really helps me is history. Because in trading is like history. It's like never the same. It's always a different outcome. Like, you can learn from the past, but the future always looks a little bit, like you say, the future doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, something like that. And that's really what you learn in. So I feel also, oh wow, all the dots, whatever I did in the past, put me together to being a trader.
Yeah, I feel like if you look back on your life and also your work let's say career, it's a perfect fit, but you don't know how it happened. But I can tell you how it happened, because you were true to yourself and you were just following your heart. Let's say this, I know it sounds like a little bit like a cliche, but if you're authentic and true to yourself, things happen the way they are right for you. That's what I believe deep inside of myself. So being a trader for me is natural. Being a coach or a teacher for me is natural. I'm on stage, I can guarantee you, I'm the same or even better person than outside of the business. I'm the same. You can find me here and there, the same person. So I don't wear a mask. I did this, of course, when I started. You're like, oh, I have to be like this or this. Right now, it's me, period. All me. And people like it or not, but it's me. And I think that's very, very important. Also, when it comes to trading, it's you and the market, nobody else. You have a strategy, check if it's yours. If not, adapt it, change it, make it yours. If it's not yours, you will fail for a simple reason, because it's not yours. That is what the turtles had proven. Because people, they were using different means of management. Even small changes in the strategy led to different outcomes. And you have to be totally aligned with this to make sure that you live with the outcome, that you agree with the outcome, because if not, you have a problem as a trader. You start fighting, and you don't want to fight.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. That's a very good point that you're saying here. And I feel like here at XM Life, we are every day, 8 hours every day, we are streaming and we are teaching the people who are coming here from all over the world. And like they are asking, so what do you do? Just explain your strategy. And like we do, but we try to teach and say, you have to, maybe you can take the core of what we are doing, but you have to adapt it to your own style.
Yeah. So, then everything else happens. Everything comes into line. Everything comes into order. Talking about jobs, a lot of people just do a job because their parents had told them, or was the only one just available right at that moment they were looking for it, but they're not happy. And then you can make money as much as you want. But if you're not happy in your job, you're not happy in your life, And as a trader, you don't choose to be a trader. It chooses you. You feel like, I might try it. But with all the hassle we have, with all the pain we experience, with all the losses, but also the profits come into place, and all the stress and all this research and rebuild everything, it chooses you. And if it's not yours, you will lose it and you will go, which is okay. But then you have to find something else. What is really yours? So therefore, I'm in trading for 20 years now, and I'm still learning because it's mine. I love learning about trading, and I love the experience. That's why I coach, because I learn from the experience of the others too, right?
True.
I think before we go, I'd like to squeeze in the last question here. What is your trading style? What is your trading time frame of choice? Since we're talking about personalities, in that case, what's your trading personality?
Oh, yeah, my trading personality is more short term. So I used to be more intraday, like 5-3 minutes, because if I can make my 20 pips now, it's better now than like next day. That's number one. But from time management reasons, I switch more and more into swing trading, like end of day, because with all the things I do, just sitting in front of my screen, just focusing on one chart, it's not that easy, honestly speaking, even though I have a second screen here. But I have so many things also going on that it's more comfortable and it's easier to go swing trading. And there I go for the indices, futures and CFDs, and there I go also for Forex, the majors, a little bit commodities, which is mostly gold to look at. And that's okay. That's enough for me.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, we are already at the end of our session. We didn't talk about your book. You wrote a bestseller. You wrote a couple of books, I think,
Yep.
but you have one bestseller. Yeah, I have it. It's here on my shelf, just behind. When you visited me, I forgot to bring it, so you sign it. But maybe the next time we meet in Germany.
For sure. Yeah.
And maybe we make another session, and talk mostly about the risk and money management, because I think we could talk just about this topic a whole hour.
At least. I mean, give me a topic and a time frame, and I'm happy to talk about it. Of course. That's what I do. I like it. I love it. I love it. And I'm really lucky with my life, because everything I do, so 99%, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And who can say this, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Staff, you want to finish?
In that case, it's just been an honor to share the space here with two successful traders. And in that case, thanks for allowing me to get to know and understand the journey you've been on. Gil, thanks for being here with me and allowing me to co-host with you on the show.
It was a pleasure.
And in that case, thanks to the viewers as well for tuning in. We had a couple on Facebook who followed along after as well. Some people in the chat also know you, Wieland, so that's also great to see.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so thanks for the invitation. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for following also my journey. Yeah, you can follow me anyway. So on the socials. So I'm over there as well. And yeah, let's stay connected. Let's see what else we can share. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Take
Thank you
care.
so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks.